Assalamu alaikum and hello everyone. Welcome to Mathematics with Shahab Yaqub. So we are solving a paper 5 that is of May June 2025 variant 51. This is the S1 paper. Now remember, in this particular year I have already solved the variants 5.2, 5.3, the new variant 5.1. So these are already solved. Check it out on the YouTube channel. So now at the very end I'm solving this variant 51. Now let's look at the first question. The first question is about normal distribution, and let me grab my highlighter. So let me start underlining it. The masses of bags of rice made by a company are normally distributed with mean mu and standard deviation 0.14. So whatever you have read, make sure to jot it down. Don't assume anything. The probability that the mass of a randomly chosen bag of this rice is less than 1.48 kg is 0.22. Find the value of mu. Now, first of all, you have to write whatever is given in that particular sentence like this. So now you are writing probability x lesser than 1.48 is 0.22. 0.22 is 22%. 100 minus 22, that is 78%. Make sure when you do the back solving, what do I mean by back solving? When I use this term back solving, it means using the probability to find the z value and then find the corresponding x value or the corresponding mu value or the corresponding sigma value. So this probability has to be at least 0.5. That means 78% is greater than 50%. Now you will go to the table and then you would write the corresponding value, which is over here 0.772. So the p value is giving us the z value. There is a greater sign, that is why the z value is negative. If z has a greater sign, z value is negative. If z has a lesser sign, z value is positive, provided the probability is at least 0.5. Standardize, change x to z, do the comparing coefficient, show all the working that is written on the front page, all necessary working. This is all necessary, and then you get the final answer. This final answer is coming out to be 1.59, correct to 3 significant figures. So question number 1 is done. Question number 2, what is this all about? Question number 2, it's about perms and probability distribution. It says find the number of different arrangements, that is permutation, of the 8 letters of the word kangaroo in which the two A's are together and the two O's are not together. Now that's a nice one, but a simple question because it has appeared in the papers many times before. So there are two A's, there are two O's, there is K and G R. So now K and G R, the two A's together in a box, and then empty spaces for what? For the two O's. Since there are 5 alphabets, double A is considered 1 unit, there are 6 possible spaces. So therefore, what do? We would say 6p2 divided by 2 factorial. 2 factorial for what? 2 factorial for the 2 O's into 5 factorial. 5 factorial for what? For this K and N, G, R, double A. This is 5 factorial. And what about the red ones? The 2 factorial over 2 factorial, that is for the 2 A's, and you get this nice answer, which is 1800. Next one. Now it says a fair 8-sided dice has faces labeled such and such. The dice is rolled repeatedly. Find the probability. Again, I need to underline. Find the probability that fewer than 6 rolls of this dice are required to obtain an A. How many A's do you see? We see 2 A's. So probability of getting an A is 2 over 8, which is 1 over 4. Now this is a geometric distribution. Why is it geometric? Because until and unless you get an A. So X follows a geometric distribution with a probability of 1/4. And then we use this concept which comes in handy, saves a lot of time. Probability x is less than or equal to n, that is 1 minus probability of failure raised to power of n. Remember, we use the symbol P for probability of success and Q, 1 minus P, that is the probability of failure. So probability of success is 1/4, probability of failure is 3/4. Just be sure of one thing. This lesser has to be converted to lesser than or equal to. So lesser than 6, 6 is not inclusive. Therefore, we write lesser than or equal to 5. So 1 minus 3/4 raised to power of 5. We simplify. It's better to leave the answer in fractions because fractions are beautiful, fractions are exact. But if you want to convert it into decimals, take care of the accuracy. The next one, again, it's related to the same thing. So basically, remember one thing. Let me just do a bit of underlining. This paragraph over here, that is applicable for B, that is applicable for C, both. Find the probability that the second A is obtained on the 6th roll of the dice. Now, we have seen these kind of questions maybe in 2023 and the year 2024. So these kind of questions were there a lot of time. The second A is obtained on the 6th roll. That means if I focus on this, that is the second A that is obtained. So just isolate this thing. So this is isolated. That means out of the first 5 rolls, so out of first 5 rolls, now the order does not make a difference. I just need the first A. So this thing is binomial. And at the end, we are getting a success. So this thing is geometric. So basically, I have already written the geometric thing without any fancy formulas. But over here, I have to write 5C1, success raised to power of 1, failure raised to power of 4. Now there are 2 1/4s and it would be written as 1/4 square. This is written as 3/4 power 4. 5C1 is 5. Write it down and you get these answers. Let's move on to question number 3. It says, last Sunday, a team of runners took part in a charity event. The time taken in seconds to run 50 meters was recorded correct to 1 decimal place for each runner. The time recorded for the 11 runners from each of the gulls and herons, these are the 2 teams, are shown in the table. So I have labeled gulls with a green color and herons with a pink color. The data is already there. I think it's already, no, this one is not arranged in ascending order. So you have to make sure that this is arranged. This is 7.9, 8.2, 8.3. I think this is all good, all arranged, but this one you have to do the arrangement. Draw back-to-back stem and leaf diagram to represent this info with G on the left. So G is on the left, H is on the right. That is the stem. The lowest value is that of 7 and the highest value is that of 10. There is no 11. So 7, 8, 9, 10, that is the stem. You don't have to write the stem and the leaf, but that's how it's drawn. This is leaf, this is leaf. So now 7.9 is written as 9/7. And similarly 8/1 means 8.1 for herons. And the rest of the thing, we go in this order like this. And over here we go in this order like this. There is no value related to 7 for the herons, so that is left blank. Separate key for this, separate key for this. You want to make one key, that is all good, all clear. For example, 2/9/5. So 2/9/5, it means 9.2 seconds for gulls. And similarly, it will mean 9 and 5, 9.5 seconds for herons. So you can make a single key also. That's your choice. Now it says, find the median and interquartile range of the times of the runners from the gulls. So usually they always ask the left-hand side one because that is kind of tricky to read. So we know the process. 11 divided by 2 is 5.5. Round it up. 6 value, that is the median. The 6 value is in the middle. 5 values are lesser than this. 5 values are greater than this. Out of these 5 values, which is the middle one? So 5/2 is 2.5. Therefore, the third value is the middle one. And out of these 5 values, also choose the middle one. The small middle one, that is the lower quartile. The bigger middle one is the upper quartile. And of course, the 6th value, that is the median. So let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 8/8, 8.8, that's the median. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the third one. 3/8, that means 8.3. That's the lower quartile. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the third one. 8/9 is 9.8. That is the upper quartile. Interquartile range is upper minus lower. We get this value. Now we are seeing some questions related to mean and standard deviation after a long time. Two other teams of runners, the E and S. Okay, so there were gulls and herons, and now eagles and swifts also took part in the event. The recorded time in seconds for 20 runners from eagles, 30 runners from swifts are denoted by such and such. So eagle is X, swift is Y. Sigma X is 175 and mean of Y is 8.4. So red color is for eagles, blue color is for swift. The data we have for eagles N is 20, sigma X is 175. The data for swift N is 30, Y bar is 8.4. So now we have the formula Y bar is sigma Y over N. Multiply these two, you will get the summation of Y 252. This is summation of X 175. What are they asking? They're asking the mean of the times taken by all 50 runners. So of course, never ever make a mistake that take the bar and add it up and divide by 2. It's not possible. Why? Because the numbers are different. Sigma W, that is sigma X plus sigma Y. W is the total. That is 427. Number of W, that is 50. W bar 427 over 50, 8.54 exact. Leave the answer as it is. It is also given that sigma X square is this much. It is also known that the standard deviation of the time taken by all 50 runners is 1.38. Find the value of sigma Y square. Another nice question. For the group, W is for the total. Okay, so let me write over here because I haven't specified this. W is basically X plus 1. W is for the whole group of 50. So now if I work over here, standard deviation W square sigma W square over NW minus W bar square. This is W bar, and that is over here. What I've done is that first of all transfer this to the other side and then in brackets multiplied by this. So therefore, this is basic maths. If someone is getting stuck on this, let me explain it to them. SDW square plus W bar square, that is sigma W square over NW. Therefore, SDW square plus W bar square in bracket multiplied with NW, that is sigma W square. That is the step. So now just plug in the values. This is 1.38 square. This is 8.54 square. This is answer of part 1 or part A or part C. And this is 50. That is sigma W square. That is this thing. Now sigma W square is addition of these two. This was already given. This is calculated. Hence you find sigma Y square. Next one. Every Saturday, excuse me, a particular community holds a puzzle event to raise money for a new leisure center. Competitors attempt to solve puzzles as quickly as possible. Last Saturday, 600 took part. Times taken to complete were normally distributed. So let me start underlining it. So now 600 took part, normal distribution, mean 32.4, standard deviation 2.5. How many competitors would you expect? Expectation. So you have 600, whatever probability you will get, you have to multiply. To have a times within 1.2 minutes of the mean time. Now this question can be done in two ways. Either you use the exact value, which is 32.4. 1.2 of the mean time, add 1.2, subtract 1.2, and then work with these exact values. That is one approach. So work with this, work with this. If you work with this, you still will be getting the same answer. I haven't done it, but of course it is the same answer. So probability X lies between 32.4 and 32.4 minus 1.2 plus 1.2. When you standardize, you will still be getting this thing and this thing. What I want to work with is just work in symbols. Mu plus 1.2, mu minus 1.2. Standardize, we subtract the mean. So it doesn't make a difference if I write mu over here, if I write 100 over here, if I write 32.4 over here, it will cancel out. So what am I left with? I'm left with this value 1.2 and negative 1.2 divided by 2.5. Of course, the two z values are the same. This is rule number 7 according to the way I have taught in regular classes. So now this is phi of the first value, phi of the second value. Of course, you're going to discard the negative sign. Subtract 1 and this is the answer. It's not over yet. Of course, make a habit of reading the question once again. The examiner talks a lot about it. Expectation of x, 600 into this value, you get this answer. It's about the number of people. Rounding down is also good. Rounding up is also good. Don't leave the answer as it is, otherwise marks will be deducted. In the Saturday event, 60% of the competitors. Now let me highlight this. 60% of the competitors had time less than 36 minutes. So lesser than 36 is 60%. 9 competitors who took part in the Saturday's event are selected at random. Find the probability at least 2 and fewer than 8 of these competitors had time lesser than 36 minutes. Now, first of all, this is a question of binomial. Probability of success is this thing. So based upon normal distribution, they have already given us the probability. Or maybe not based on normal distribution, we don't know, but we have to use this probability as probability of success. X lies between 2 inclusive and 8 exclusive. So lesser than 8 is lesser than or equal to 7. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Calculate these 6 probabilities, add it up, or calculate the remaining 4 and subtract it from 1. So this is the formula for binomial. 9C 0, success raised to power of 0, failure raised to power of 9. Similarly, 9C1, 9C8, 9C9. Make sure to write each value separately because that is how they want us to write it. Show all working. Do not assume anything. Final answer is this thing. Now, part C. It says 80 competitors who took part in this Saturday event are selected at random. Use a suitable approximation. The only thing suitable that we have studied in S1 is normal approximation. Find the probability more than 50 of these competitors had time lesser than 36 minutes. So part C and part B, again this particular statement that applies to part B because after this paragraph there is part B, there is part C. So it's applicable for both. So this is the probability of success. That's the number of trials. So N is given, P is given, Q is given. Evaluate NQ, evaluate NP, evaluate NPQ. So now we know that expectation of X, that is the mean, NPQ, that is the variance, and these two values will go over here. That is 48 and that is 19.2. Why have I calculated this thing? That is NQ and NP to justify. Since NP is greater than 5, NQ is greater than 5. So therefore, that is the justification that is needed for normal approximation. Also, don't forget continuity correction. Don't forget continuity correction. Draw a number line if you wish to. Let me draw a number line over here. Let me mark the value 50. Let me mark the boundaries 50.5, 49.5. Let me write a 4 in a nice manner. Let me draw two number lines. So one in red color, that's going this way. One in blue color, that is going this way. 50 is not inclusive, so therefore I'll choose this one. 50 is not inclusive. So therefore, greater than 50.5, standardize, you get this thing. This is rule number 2, because we have the normal distribution curve. We want this probability. This is 0.571. As such, you don't need a diagram if you have understood it through the way that I have explained. So 1 minus probability z lesser than 0.571. This is using the z value to find the p value. Subtract and then you get the answer. Now double check. Are they asking us the probability or expectation? They are asking us the probability. Final answer 3SF. Question number 5. Now it says in a group of 20 musicians, there are 9 guitarists, 6 pianists and 5 drummers. So I've labeled it using the color red, blue and green for right now. 6 are to be selected from these 20. These are all 20 to perform at a concert. First part for 4 marks. Find the number of different ways. So it's always about the number of different ways. Sometimes they use the number of different ways to calculate probability, in which the 6 musicians can be selected if there must be at least 3 guitarists, at most 2 pianists, exactly 1 drummer. That is what we need. So when we are talking about 1 drummer, just write 3, 4 ones over here. That is fixed. So basically, we have to talk about the remaining 5 out of these. At least 3 guitarists, it could be 3 guitarists and 2 pianists. It fulfills this condition. Just ignore this for right now. I can increase it to 4. I can decrease it to 1. I can increase it to 5. I can decrease it to 0. So at most 2 means 0, 1, 2. At least 3 means 3, 4, 5. So 9C3, 6C2, 5C1. And then 9C4, 6C1, 5C1. And then 9C5, 6C0, 5C1. You get all these values. Either this committee can be formed because it's about committee, delegation, team, or this team can be formed, or this team can be formed. So it's either this or this or this, and the total is this. So let me just write over here. That is 6300 or 3780 or 630. So or is basically addition. So let me write over here or. So add it all up and then you get this particular answer. So this is a plus sign, this is a plus sign, and then you get this answer. So that is the first one. Now, in this particular thing B, this was kind of difficult and new. Now also watch S1 2025 variant 55. There is a similar question like this. And that is also a very nice question. It's about 3 teams of men and women, something like that. So also watch that thing. So now it says 3 bands are selected. Now what I've done is that first I have created my own version, the SY version, the easy version. And how am I changing it? Just have a good look. So now it says 3 bands. Instead of 3 bands, let me write 2 bands. So 2 bands will be selected from the original group of let's say 5 musicians. Each band will consist of 3 guitarists and 1 pianist. There is no drummer. No musician can be in more than 1 band. The first band will play in France, second band will play in Italy, and there is no third band. Got the idea? Now read the whole thing again. 2 bands will be selected from the original group of 5. Each band will consist of 3 guitarists and 1 pianist. My bad, 1 guitarist and 1 pianist. So this is 1 guitarist and 1 pianist. No musician can be in more than 1 band. The first band selected will play in France, second band in Italy. So basically, first band that is in France and band 2 that is in Italy. So the locations are fixed. Now, let me first explain to you how I have done the working and then also how it can be simplified in a diagrammatic way because the numbers are lesser. Out of 3, I'm selecting 1. Out of 2, I'm selecting 1. So this is 3C1 and 2C1, that is 6. That is easy. But remember the statement, no musician can be in more than 1 band. Let me highlight this. No musician can be in more than 1 band. So now if 1 person is already selected, because of this one, 3 minus 1 becomes 2. 1 person is already selected, 2 minus 1 is 1. Still, you need 1, 1 in that. So there are 2 possibilities. So this time we are multiplying because we are using the concept of and, because this thing is happening and at the same time the second thing is happening because both bands are created in the same order, and this answer is coming out to be 12 phase. So now first of all, let me explain to you diagrammatically. Let's say there are 3 guitarists. So the guitarists are, let me choose this color, that is A, then there is guitarist B, then there is guitarist C, and then there are 2 pianists. One is X and the other one is this person, which is Y. So now instead of this, I think I'll choose orange color like this. Okay. So now what are the different ways this thing could happen? Now let's write it down. First of all, remember ABC, guitarist, XY, pianist. So these are the 3 guitarists. That is Y, that is, hold for a second, purple color. Okay, so that is X, and then this is C, and then this is B, and then this is 1. So of course, this will take some time for you to understand thoroughly, because once you get it, the original question will become easy. Now, France and Italy. So this is France, and this is Italy. The locations, countries, they are fixed. So now let's create the first band. Let me take A from here. Let me take X from here. So A is selected, X is selected. That means the second band would be about BY or CY. BY or CY. Got it? Let me start with AY. So if I select AY, what are the possibilities? BX, CX, BX, CX. Do the same thing. If I select B and X, then AY and CY. If I select B and Y, then AX, CX. If I select CX, then AY, BY. If I select CY, then AX, CX. How many options are there? 12. So that is how I've explained it in an easy way. So now this is variant. Let me just focus on one thing. This is variant 5.1. Also watch variant 5.5. And this is the S1 2025 May June paper. So a lot of emphasis I'm putting on this. Do not skip this question if you want your grades to be very, very nice. Now here is the original question. So now the original question, that's the original examination question. The first one was the modified one. Now what is happening over here? Now it's saying that 3 bands are selected. From the original group of 20, each band will consist of, and let me just erase this for right now. Each band will consist of 3 guitarists and 1 pianist and 1 drummer. No musician can be in more than 1 band. The first band selected will play at a concert in France. So let me make it lighter. The first band, that is in France. The second band, they will play in Italy. The third band, they will play in Spain. All good? Find the number of different ways in which the bands can be selected. So now look at the values. You want 3, 1, 1. So let me write over here, from the 9 guitarists, I need 3. From the 6 pianist, I need 3. From the 5 drummer, I need 1. 3, 1, 1, not 3, 3, 1. This is 3, 1, and 1. All good? So now when we talk about the first country, that is France. So let me write over here, that is the band playing in France. So now first of all, 9C3 into 6C1 into 5C1. So the original numbers are 9, 6 and 5. This is guitarist, pianist, drummer. That's the original number. So now you can just focus on over here. Now 9 and 3 subtract to give you 6, 6C3. 6 and 3 subtract to give you 3, 3C3. 6C1, 6 and 1 subtract to give you 5. 5C1 becomes 4C1. 5C1 becomes 4C1 becomes 3C1. So now this answer is this much. This answer, I think this is of the second country, that's Italy, and the third country, that is Spain. So now this is for France and Italy and Spain. So that is how the concept of and is there. So we would multiply, and we get this very big value, which is an exact number. Do not round off. Got the idea? So now this thing is done and dusted. Question number 6. So that was question 5. I thought that would be the last one, but the last one is, I think, the easy one. Now it says a bag contains 10 marbles, of which 4 are red, 6 are blue. 4 are selected at random from the bag, and 4 are selected from the bag at random without replacement. The random variable x denotes the number of blue marbles selected. So first of all, without restriction, 10C4. 4 plus 6 is 10. 10C4, that is 210, because I need the probability, I need the denominator. Now my habit is to work up on this one. So basically I work for part B, and out of that part A will also come. So 6 is blue, 4 is red. Let me just highlight it. So this is 6, my bad, that's not a right color. So over here, this is red, that's 4 of them, and blue is 6, and that is how the selection is taking place. First of all, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. We are focusing on X. X is the number of blue. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Very simple. 6C0, 4C1. 6C1, 4C3. 6C2, 4C2. 6C3, 4C1. 6C4, 4C0. Everything is written separately. This is the number of ways. So therefore, we have these ways, that is 1, that is 24, that is 90, that is 80, that is 15. But if they are asking us the probability, then we have to do the division. 1 over 210, 24 over 210, 90 over 210, 80 over 210, 15 over 210. And of course, you can also double check that this total will come out to be 210 because it should exactly match with this. So before the examiner even checks it, you can check your working. That is the table, that's right over here. And third part, find the probability. At least 2 of the marbles chosen are blue, given that at least 1 red marble and at least 1 blue marble are chosen. At least 1 blue and at least 1 red. So let me go to the table. At least 1 blue and at least 1 red. So basically it could be 1, 3, 2, 2, 3, 1, that is 24, 90 and 80. So that is 24, 90 and 80. That is 194 over 210. Out of which at least 2 blue. So this is at least 1 blue, at least 2 blue, exactly 1, exactly 2, exactly 3. So this is at least 2 blue. That is 90 and 80. Got the idea? So 90 and 80, that is for at least 2 blue. So 170 over 200, this is the denominator, this is the numerator. 170 over 194, leave the answer as fractions. And one last thing, that is part A, show that probability x is equals to 2. What is x? Number of blue marbles. So if we are selecting 4 marbles, 2 blue means 2 blue, 2 red. That is answer of part A. You can write it separately also. So all good, all clear. You can even write it like this. Let me write it for you. So that is 4C2 into 6C2 divided by 10C4. This answer will come out to be 90 over 210. And that will simplify to 3 over 7. So for this part, you should show the simplification. For the other parts, you don't need to show any simplification. It's very easy to add it up, even if you're calculating expectation of x square, variance of x. So you need exact fractions over here to make life simpler for you. Of course, you have a calculator, but give less load to the calculator. So this is May, June 2025, variant 51, all done and dusted. Wish you the best of luck for the exam. Take care, everyone.